14th of October, Rabbi Levitt, Gemorrah.
Okay. Let's see where we got up to. All right, we got the Shaila of Abba Bar Mamel, and we have Zvi, the explanation of the Shaila, and now we're going to bring the proof.
Alan? Alan?
Yeah.
Alan?
Yes.
I won't be able to make it to Rabbi Baum's class today.
Oh, okay. No thanks.
Okay. Is Rabbi Baum using a safer? A safer?
But we're doing 4 different things. We're doing the
Using several swearing. Shabbos, Gemorrah and Shabbos,
partial.
Bava, and Mishnah Berurah. He has different topics he covers. We were there for 2 hours. We'll cover this for 20 minutes, this one for 30 minutes, whatever.
Oh, I see. I thought he was doing Hilchos Shmita.
We did that. That was it.
Finish that.
And we took a break.
Oh, he finished. Oh,
Then
I
we had
see.
a break and he said that was enough.
Okay, good.
He's very thorough in what he does.
All right. So we are on Hey Vav Amid Base 86B. I would guess the second page, 86B, up to the Toshma. Come and hear a proof to this question that we have. And what was the question exactly? The question was, what's the din in a case when Mr. A does an action which is calculated to cause embarrassment to person B, except that person B is sleeping, and he's not aware of anything that's happening to him, and then not having anything to do with the busha that was done to him. He's mace. He takes leave from this world. So, like that, we have a situation where he never knew at the time, and he didn't know afterwards that he was embarrassed. So we want to know what the din is in that case. And now the Gemorrah brings a toshma. So we're going to attempt to prove what the din is in this case. So, Alan, would you like to lead off the reading today?
Sure. The Gemorrah attempts to answer a question. Toshma, come, learn from the following brisa that the assailant is liable in Abba Bar Mamel's case. Rabbi Meir Omer, Rabbi Meir says, Teresh, the Kotan, Yesh Lahem Boshas. A deaf person and a minor have compensation for humiliation. Shota Ein Lo Boshas. The deranged person does not have compensation for humiliation. E Omerat Bishlamah Mishum zero saw. Now, as well, if you say that one is liable for humiliation because of degradation, I know that with the Koton, for this is why the Bryce states that a humiliated minor is eligible for compensation. This because the assailant's act in fact degrades him. Ela e not Mishum he for. But if you say that liability for humiliation is because of embarrassment, Katan bar Boshes who is a minor capable of experiencing embarrassment. Certainly not.
Okay, so the Gemara brings a proof from a case about a katan. It says a katan, there is a payment of boshes to a katan. And so what's the proof? Remember the two sides that we had. The Gemara says, "Iyamart bishlema mishum zilusa." If we say that the reason why there is a payment for boshes altogether is because a zilusa was done to the person, meaning something that cheapens him, that would cheapen him in the eyes of other people. And it doesn't matter whether the person himself was aware of it or cognizant of what was happening to him. So on that side, we say bishlema. We understand very well why there would be a payment of boshes, because that's the reason why. It doesn't matter whether the person is cognizant. Hainuk tani. That's what we say, that the katan is there's yesh laboshes. Eliyamart mishum kisufa. But if we say mishum kisufa, then it's because of the shame and the embarrassment that the victim suffers as a result of the act that was done to him. If we say it's dependent upon that he suffers shame and embarrassment, like Rashi said, he said chafias panim, that he would cover his face in shame. So then we would not understand. Katan barboshes, who is a katan? Is he someone who experiences a boshes that's done to him? Here the Gemara is taking on that we're talking about a katan who is the age that he doesn't experience any shame or embarrassment if a shaming or embarrassing act was done to him. And so therefore that would seem to be a good proof. That would seem to be a good proof. Do we have Rashi over here? No, we don't. Okay, so we go further. So 1 second. So now we go, we're gonna go further in the Gemorrah now, and we ask Lou to continue. Ella.
Ella am I. But what? Mishum zilusa, because of degradation. In other words, we just established that a minor cannot be embarrassed. Therefore, the question is, why does the assailant have to pay? And the Gemara is asking, is it because of degradation? Uh, oh, afilu shota nami. If so, a deranged person should also be entitled to payment,
right?
because he also can be degraded, even though he might not know it.
Yeah, he doesn't feel any shame or embarrassment when somebody does a shaming and embarrassing act to him. So and we see in our brisa, what did it say about a shota in the brisa? The brisa said, shota ein lo boshes. There is no payment for boshes when a shota is something is done to him, in spite of the fact that he doesn't feel it. So, well, if so, then why does the brisa say that there's no compensation to a shota? The fact that there's no compensation to a shota would seem to indicate that the payment for boshes only comes when it's mishum kisufa, when the person himself feels the pain of the humiliation and the embarrassment and the shame. And that would be why a shota, there's no payment that would be made to him.
Amre,
So, yeah,
they said, Shota, a deranged person, Ein lecha boshes gedola mizu. There is not humiliation greater than this. In other words, the deranged person is humiliated because everybody knows he's deranged, I guess. And therefore can't be humiliated further. So therefore we don't pay him for humiliation.
yeah, it's kind of we're walking a tightrope over here. What the Gemorrah is doing over here is the Gemorrah is defending its inference and the proof that we made in the case of the katan. We said in the case of the katan that the katan is not a barbocious, meaning he doesn't experience shame and embarrassment, and therefore that will explain why he's got no boshes, he's got no payment. But in spite of that, we see that there is payment to a katan for boshes. So therefore, the Gemorrah wanted to prove that we see that the din of paying boshes is not because of the causing the victim to feel shame and embarrassment that he actually experiences, but even when he doesn't feel pain and shame and embarrassment, but the act itself was an act which cheapens and makes light of the honor of that person, and that's why the assailant has to pay for boshes. That's what the Gemorrah said. And then when we introduced this case of the shota, we said, oh, but there's no payment. There's no boshes for a shota. Why is there no payment according to you? You just got to tell me it's a matter of zilusa. If it's an act which is intrinsically an act which embarrasses and shames, So we don't care whether the person feels the pain or that's why there's liability in the case of a katan. So on that, the Gemorrah says, no, it seems that the Gemorrah wants to say in regard to a shota, he's off the charts. He's off the charts. Ein l'chaboshis gedola mizu. And so even in an intrinsic sense, it's not possible to do a cheapening and degrading act to a shota, even because of who he is. To be a shota is the most what can you say?
Most degraded.
That itself is intrinsically so even it's just off the charts. So therefore that's why there is no payment for him, even though we do say as a rule that it doesn't depend upon feeling the pain of the shame and the embarrassment. And that's why there is compensation for a katan. Something like that. It's a bit of a hair splitting. I guess we just don't understand it. Do they have any way of explaining it over there? They have a note on that? What's the difference between a shota and a katan?
It just says it's impossible to degrade him further.
It's impossible to degrade him further.
In other words, the katan doesn't experience humiliation, but he can be degraded. But the shota doesn't. Not only does he not experience humiliation, but he's already so degraded by his condition that he cannot be degraded further.
Okay, so that's, in other words, a katan is not. It's not degrading to be a katan. It's a stage of life. That's his stage. He's a person like everybody else, but since he's a younger person, so he doesn't feel the pain and of shame and embarrassment in the same way that a gadol would, and therefore, but he can be degraded because he's a person. It's not a disgrace to be a katan, I guess. It's not a degrading thing to be a katan. But it seems like what the Gemorrah is saying is a degrading thing to be a shota. Even though, I mean, a shota is does he have a neshama? Shota has a neshama? Is he a Tzelem Elokim? Absolutely. Absolutely. And it would seem to me that even if there's no payment for degrading a shota, it would certainly seem to me that it would be usher to do so. This is the person who's a Tzelem Elokim. He has a neshama. When you are degrading him, you are degrading a creation that Hashem created. That you can't do that. What? At least according to Rabbi Meir over here, Rabbi Meir holds that there's no payment of boshes for a shota. Okay. And therefore we are defending our proof that that boshes, the payment of boshes, is because of zilusa, not because of kisufa. And now we're going to continue with this. The Gemorrah is still involved in this. And now we're going to go to Roy. You see where we are, Roy?
No, where are we?
Okay.
On
B2,
86B. What?
B2,
Yes. I've
right-hand
got that.
column,
So
third
what?
paragraph.
You're in and out.
86, B2, right-hand column, third paragraph.
All right. Yeah. Rav Papa.
Mikol Makom. One up from there.
Oh. Oh, I see. Right. Oh, they're little paragraphs. All right. Makom. In any event. Nifshos mina de mishum ziluso hu. Let us derive from the brisa that is because of degradation that one is liable for humiliation.
Mhm.
Because of degradation, one is liable for humiliation. Du'u mashum kasufa. For if you say it's because of embarrassment that the brisa obligates one who humiliates a minor, I can retort, katan ba kasufa hu. Is a minor capable of experiencing embarrassment? Surely not. They do get embarrassed. The Gemara refutes the proof. Kidoma Rav Papa. The brisa can be interpreted according to that which Rav Papa stated below in another interpretation of the brisa. It refers to a minor mature enough.
Very good.
Right. This is not me. This is the art scroll.
Very good
Nice.
reading.
It'd be nice if it was me. Right. The machlamo le umukalem. It refers to a minor mature enough that they embarrass him and he becomes embarrassed. Here also, it refers to a minor mature enough. The machlamu le umukalem. That they embarrass him and he becomes embarrassed.
Right. So here the Gemorrah is saying that we're going. This brisa goes according to the view of Rav Papa. It said that when a katan reaches a certain age, a certain level of maturity, even though he's still a katan, he does experience the pain of shame and embarrassment. That's what the words means. The mikal mule umichlem, that they shame and embarrassment him, and he feels the pain of the shame and the embarrassment. So that's what Rav Papa says, that there is such a thing like that. And the Gemorrah says Hachanami here in our brisa as well. That is what that is the katan that our brisa is referring to. Somebody who dimikalmu lay, that you embarrass him, umichlem, and he feels the pain of that embarrassment and that shame. And so therefore that is why there is liability in the case of the katan, because the reason why there is a payment for boshes is only where there is kisufa, only where there is a feeling of shame and embarrassment that's felt on behalf of the victim. And so now it explains very well why in the case of the shota there's no payment. Ein lo boshes. There's no payment when one degrades a shota. Not that it's permissible to do, but there's no compensation to be paid to him for it. Why? Because we're saying now that this brisa holds that the payment for boshes is only in the event that the victim feels the pain of the shame and the embarrassment. And so since a shota, we said, does not feel that at all, so therefore that's why the reason why there's no compensation given to him. But a katan, at least one who has arrived at that state of maturity, there is such shame and embarrassment, and therefore that's why it says that there's boshes in the brisa in regard to a katan. This katan who has reached that age, that maturity. Okay, good. And now we go weiter to Rav Papa. And we call upon Alan to continue. Rav Papa Omar. See where we are, Alan? I can't hear you, Alan. Okay, so Alan, are you there?
Here,
Oh, okay.
you're looking at it.
We're up to Rav Papa Omar. Would you like to read for us?
Yeah, on page 86B, right? What Papa?
Yeah.
The Gemorrah offers another explanation of Rabbi Abba Bar Mamo's theory. Rabbi Papa Omar, Rabbi Papa said, "Rabbi Abba is asking us, Mishum, the sued poor, that the names who it is because of the victim's embarrassment that the assailant is liable for humiliation. For one might well, in this case, the victim died in his sleep without feeling any embarrassment, and so the assailant is not liable. Liable is not. Oh, the Mar, Mishum, the Boshes, or perhaps it is because of the humiliation of the family that the assailant is liable. And so even though here the victim himself did not suffer embarrassment, his family was discredited.
Okay, so this is a totally different explanation of the suffix of Rav Abba Bar Mamel. Will there be boshes to be paid in this case of a degrading act done to a person who's sleeping, and then he passes away in his sleep, and he never realized that he had such a thing had been done to him. So if we say that the payment for boshes is the prerequisite is that the victim that the act was done to feels the pain of the boshes, so then he'll be putter. He passed away from this world. He didn't feel the pain. Or do we say that no, there's going to be payment over here? Why? Not because the act itself is what we're focusing on, and the act itself was an act of zilusa, and a degrading act that was done to this person, but because of real pain of shame and embarrassment that is felt by the family of the person that this degrading act was done to. They according to Rav Papa, they will feel shame and embarrassment from the act that was done to their relative. And even though he didn't feel any shame and embarrassment, but they do, and therefore there's going to be payment that's made to them, even though the assailant probably didn't think about the family too much, but he certainly did intend to do the act, I guess, of this degrading act, and therefore he's responsible for the consequences. So that's the way Rav Papa explains the suffix of Rav Abba Bar Mamel. Now the Gemorrah is going to bring a proof. And we go to Lud. Toshma. Oh, Lou, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Tashma, come and learn. Haresh v'katan yesh lo bushes. A deaf person and a minor have humiliation. A shota ein lo boshes. A deranged person does not have humiliation. E amras bishlema mishum boshes mishpacha. Now, if you want to say very good, that it's because of the embarrassment to the family, hayinu de katane katan. This is why it states a minor, for a minor. And a minor, minor gets paid because it's his family. Ella I amras mishum ki sufa dide. But if you say it's because of embarrassment, katan bar boshes hu. Is a minor capable of experiencing humiliation? No.
Right. So this over here, it's this Ela I mishum kisufa didei. Didei means the kisufa, the embarrassment, didei of him, meaning of the cotton. If the requirement for payment requires that the kisufa, the embarrassment, be felt by didei, by the person that the degrading act was done to, so then we wouldn't have any. So then there would be no payment. Cotton barboshes too. Is a cotton a barboshes? Generally speaking, unless he's gotten to that level of maturity, it does. The Gemorrah holds that the cotton does not have this feeling of shame and embarrassment if something is done to him, and so therefore, on that side, then there wouldn't be any payment.
Therefore, since there is payment, it must be that there is a concern about the family.
Right, because we see that that in the case of a cherish as well as a katan, there is yeshlo boshes. There's a payment to be made in the case of embarrassing a katan. So that would be a proof that the reason for the payment is that even in the event, not only in the event that the person himself feels the pain, but even if his family feels the pain and he doesn't feel the pain for whatever reason, that would also be a case for liability.
Therefore, a sleeping person who died still has a family, and his family can be humiliated. So therefore, we do pay.
Right. Except now we got a question over here, which the Gemorrah is going to go into right now, and we have 3 minutes left. So take it away, Roy, quickly, please. Ella.
Roy, you're muted.
Sorry. Look, mate, what then is the reason for this liability? Mishum Boshas Divani Mishpacha, because of the humiliation of the family members? Afilu Shata Nami. If so, one should be liable for humiliating the deranged person as well.
Right. Kasha. Answers the Gemorrah. The Gemorrah is an answer, though.
Shota, with respect to a deranged person, Ein Lacha Boshus Gudola Mizo. You have no humiliation greater than this. Hence, it is impossible to discredit the family any further. This is the greatest humiliation you've got, to be deranged. Nicole,
Okay. Yeah.
Nicole, in any event, Nifshos Mina de Mishum Boshes Mishpacha. Let us derive from the Brisa that it is because of the humiliation of the family that one is liable for humiliation. D Mishum Kasufha. For if you say it's because of the victim's embarrassment that the Brisa obligates one who humiliates a minor, I can retort, Katon Ba Kisufa Hu. It is a minor capable of experiencing embarrassment. And the Gemorrah responds, Omar Rab Papa, Ain. Yes, a certain type of minor can experience embarrassment. The Machalemu Le or Mikolam, that is, one mature enough that they embarrass him and he becomes embarrassed. And the Brisa refers to such a minor.
Okay. So if so, then the reason why there's compensation for a katan is because we're talking about a katan who's reached that level of maturity. That's the katan that the Brisa is talking about, and therefore we don't have any proof that that there's payment even for humiliation done to the family. Nope, we're talking about the humiliation done to the katan himself. That's why there's payment. And we're talking about a katan who is reached that level of maturity. Okay. That brings us up to the level of maturity of it being 12:30.
That's very mature, Rabbi.
That's a very mature time of day. So we,
All right.
Yasher koyach to everyone.
Right, thank you. I'm sorry for
Rabbi.
running in and out. I got panicked with a phone call, but I didn't even know it was.
I also
I,
apologize for all the interruptions I had.
instead of pressing the answer, I pressed the disconnect button. I have no idea who called.
That's a good strategy. I'm gonna try that.
I did it by accident. I do that all the time. So if it
Well, you could
happens that I disconnect you, if you happen to ring me up, you'll know it's completely by accident.
Ah, very well.
Alright.
Okay.
All right, have a great day. See you tomorrow at 10:30, Rabbi.
Thank you.
Okay, bye for now.
Rat
Thank you,
Hashem,
Rabbi Levitt.
10:30 tomorrow.